Insider is presented by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics, and brought to you by Coca-Cola. When you're stocking up for game day, be sure to grab a Coke with a friend. Together, taste better. Carolina Ford. Ford, built for victory. Built for the Carolinas. Contact your Carolina Ford dealer today. And by Hardison and Cochran, attorneys at law, 919-ALL-FORDS.
Hello again and welcome to the Carolina Insider. Thanks so much for joining us today. We have another busy show coming up. Terrific interview with, a preseason All-America. Hard to imagine that a year ago, Chazz Surratt was trying to transition from quarterback to linebacker. Now he is on some All-America list, preseason All-ACC, and we'll chat with Chazz about the upcoming season. Also, just like last week, we'll take a social drive around social media and some relevant things around Carolina athletics. But for now, I'm going to take a seat, ask Adam Lucas to join me, and talk a little Tar Heel football. Adam, one thing before we get to the Chazz Surratt interview is it will be a different feel in Kenan Stadium. Announced late last week that Carolina will have no fans in Kenan Stadium for the first two games in September. That's the game against Syracuse, and then the following week against Charlotte. There would be, after that, then take a look at the situation again and make a prudent choice moving forward. But it seems like the right call, at least in the short term, for Carolina athletics.
Well, you've got to make what you think is erring on the side of caution at this point in time. You know it's disappointing for the players and the coaches because last year in Kenan Stadium was such an incredible atmosphere for every single home game, every single seat sold for every game. Now you move ahead to 2020, no seats sold for the first two games. But hopefully that'll change down the road. The Tar Heels just got to figure out a way to go out and do it without that added adrenaline that's created by all those students and fans that they enjoyed so much last year.
Carolina Insider is presented by Wells Fargo.
Just 18 months ago, Chazz Surratt was the Carolina quarterback trying to get things figured out after a subpar sophomore year that ended in injury. Made the transition to linebacker, and look at him now playing at a high level and a preseason all-conference and even on some lists All-America performer, looking for an enormous senior season. Had a chance to catch up with Chazz, had a great conversation. We'll break this up into two parts, but let's start that conversation with Tar Heel linebacker Chazz Surratt.
The last time we had Chazz Surratt on the Carolina Insider, we thought it was kind of neat that, hey, it seemed like he'd learned how to play linebacker and maybe he'd be good at it. Now when we're having Chazz Surratt on the Carolina Insider, he's an All-ACC player. He's one of the best defensive players in the conference and in the country. So, Chazz, what have you learned in these last 12 months since we last saw you on the podcast that's enabled you to be so successful?
I don't know. I just think I'd have to contribute that to my teammates and my coaches, just putting in the work each day to try to be better. Just trying to get better each day and work hard. I had a lot of great players on our team last year that kind of helped me along the way, so I'm just thankful for them.
Chazz, is that how you delineate the two time periods? The first time you're on the audio-only podcast, and now when you're on the video podcast, that's really how you have time markers in your career?
Yeah, I guess so, with the COVID stuff going on, It's all different and all new.
Does it feel different this preseason for you? I mean, last year at this time, as Adam referenced, you were kind of learning all of this. You were hoping to be successful, but you had never really done it before in live action at this level, and now you have. How is it different for you right now?
Yeah, I think last year, just going into the season, I was trying to, get my feet wet out there, try to, not make too many mistakes out there. But, really coming into this camp, I'm really confident in what I can do in the field and how hard I've worked throughout this little quarantine period. And I'm just, really confident, playing really fast. I think I've, got a lot better in each area on the field. So I'm just excited to, go out there and play with my teammates.
You just mentioned the quarantine period. This has obviously been a very unique few last months. What have you learned that you feel like's made you a better football player and has helped you be a better leader of this defense over this unique time?
I don't know. I think, I used the time, and I think a lot of my teammates use the time just to, separate ourselves from, the rest of the guys out there, just working together, just working out every day, training and watching film on a daily basis, try to get an edge on our competition. So we're a step ahead going into this year.
How is this defense different now than it was a year ago, in your opinion?
I think we just play so confident. We have a lot of speed. We have a lot of guys that can really run. We got some good guys up front that I think are going to play really well. So I'm excited to see how we come together as a team and put it all together next weekend. We look really good. I think we from to last game of last season to now coming into camp and ending camp, I think we're totally different. I think we can definitely take it to a new level this year.
Yeah, Bo Corrales and Sam Howell and the other guy, Fred Morrison look a little better in that thing.
One thing I've learned is it's not all the lighting that makes you look cool. You have to actually be cool in order to pull that off.
Well, it has been a cool time with you today. We appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. We look forward to being with you again next week. And don't forget that we'll be back next week to lead you up to the kickoff for Carolina and Syracuse. That game time has been announced for noon next Saturday in Kenan. All right, we'll bring in the equipment to get Adam's legs off the table, and we'll see you next week here on the Carolina Insider.
Carolina Insider is presented by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics, and brought to you by Coca-Cola. When you're stocking up for game day, be sure to grab a Coke with a friend. Together, taste better. Carolina Insider is produced by Go Heels Productions for Tar Heel Sports Properties, a property of Learfield IMG College.